Welcome to This Explainer. Look, I'm going to tell you something right now that is going to completely flip how you look at your bank account. The top 1% of earners in the world, we're talking the heavy-hitting entrepreneurs, the elite investors, they do not build wealth by simply working harder than you do. Not at all. They do it by escaping a system of modern-day financial slavery through strategic ownership. And today, we're breaking down exactly how they pull it off and, more importantly, how you can copy their exact strategy. If you don't own something, you are what's owned. Man, that is a harsh truth, isn't it? But it's reality. Most people are unknowingly trapped in a financial system that is quite literally designed from the ground up to keep them broke, stressed out, and completely dependent on their next paycheck. Think about it. You get paid, you cover your baseline survival, your food, your shelter, and then you just blow whatever is left, desperately waiting for the next payday to roll around. The only real difference between this and historical slavery is the illusion of freedom. So how do we actually break free from this cycle? Enter the 25-15-50-10 rule. Now, this isn't just some restrictive budget. It is a mathematical blueprint. It's designed to transition you from being owned by the system to building real, unbreakable generational wealth. Let's dive right into how each of these slices works, starting with the absolute most important one. Pillar number 1, 25% to fund your growth. Now, when I say growth, I'm not talking about some abstract personal growth concept. I mean putting your hard-earned cash directly into hard assets. These are investments that grow in value over time and actually make money for you in the background while you sleep. To really grasp why you need to start funding this growth right this second, let's look at a quick story. Meet two investors, Billy and Phil. Billy starts investing just $200 a month at age 20. Phil waits. He doesn't start until age 30, but he tries to catch up by investing a heavier $300 a month. They both stop at age 60. Now, Phil actually put way more of his own cash in out of pocket, $108,000 compared to Billy's $96,000. But because they were buying actual assets rather than just saving cash in a mattress, specifically capturing the historical 10% average annual return of the S&P 500, Billy's final total is absolutely staggering. We are talking $1,264,816. That right there is the undeniable explosive power of compound growth doing the heavy lifting for you. When you actually visualize this gap, the reality is pretty brutal. Even though Phil invested more money out of his own pocket, his total only reached about $678,000. Waiting just 10 years to start his growth engine cost Phil nearly $600,000. Time in the market is literally your ultimate asset, which is exactly why your 25% needs to go to work today. Okay, so what should you actually buy? Well, think of it like a hierarchy of investment risk. Down at the base, we have the relatively safe and steady options. Index funds, where you're essentially buying a tiny slice of the entire stock market, and real estate. In the middle, we've got high-income skills, which is honestly often the absolute fastest return on investment you can get. Higher up, you've got online businesses, individual stocks, and finally, alternative investments like crypto. The major takeaway here, build a rock-solid foundation with index funds and skills before you even think about gambling your capital on high-risk moonshots. Here is the secret sauce, though, where the wealthy actually stash these assets. If you invest through the wrong type of account, you're practically handing over thousands in unnecessary taxes. No way! You want to legally shield your money using tax-advantaged accounts. In the UK, that's your stocks and shares ISA. Over in the US, it's the Roth IRA or a 401k with an employer match. You set these up, automate your transfers the second it's payday, and build a simple 3-fund portfolio covering US stocks, international stocks, and bonds. Then, just let the whole shebang run on autopilot. Moving right along to Pillar 2, 15% to build your stability. Think of this pillar as your unbreakable financial shield. And why is it so crucial? Because life happens. Take the VW Gulf disaster, for example. Imagine taking out a loan at age 18 to buy a used car just to get to work. You feel on top of the world, right? Until 3 months later when the engine literally blows up. With absolutely no safety net, you're suddenly forced to borrow even more money just to keep your job, piling on high-interest debt and a mountain of stress. One unexpected bill can completely break your finances and set you back an entire year. To dodge that downward spiral, you absolutely need a stability fund. And we're being specific here. It should consist of exactly 5 months of your bare minimum core baseline expenses. We are talking rent, groceries, utilities, and essential transport. Absolute survival essentials only. Actually, let me clarify. This does not include your streaming subscriptions or Friday night takeout. Calculate that monthly survival baseline. multiply it by 5, and funnel 15% of your income to aggressively hit that target. Where you park this shield is super important. There are 3 non-negotiable rules for your stability fund. First, easy access. You have to be able to withdraw this cash within 24 hours without taking any penalties. Second, zero risk. Do not put this in the stock market. If an emergency hits right while the market is crashing, you are wiped out. Third, it must always earn. Keep it sitting in a high-yield savings account so it earns decent interest and isn't just silently destroyed by inflation. Now, you want to stack this cash rapidly, and you want to do it without relying on sheer willpower, right? Here are 3 rapid-fire tactics for you. Number 1, the paycheck sweep. Just automate a transfer of that 15% the exact second your paycheck lands. Number 2, the replacement promise. If you have to tap into the fund to fix a broken car, you make a hard promise to replenish it immediately on the next payday. And number 3, save by spending. Use roundup apps or cashback rewards to quietly funnel extra change directly into your stability shield.
All right, pillar 3, 50% to manage your essentials.
Capping your living costs at 50% is going to force a massive paradigm shift. Get this, over 60% of people earning 6 figures still live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they choose fake wealth. They're rocking the designer gear and the flashy watches, but they've got like $43 in their checking account and past due credit cards. Contrast that with stealth wealth. You might be wearing cheap, basic clothes, but you have thousands quietly compounding in investments and a fully funded stability shield. True wealth is what you don't see. So how do we actually keep our expenses under that 50% cap? Look, everybody loves to tell you to stop buying coffee, but let's be real, cutting out lattes isn't going to make you rich. Aggressively shrinking your 2 largest expenses absolutely will. First up, housing. Negotiate your rent down or look into house hacking. Second, transport. Stop financing brand new cars for a quick hit of status. Buy used, reliable cars that have already taken the massive depreciation hit. Shrink the big 2 and the math suddenly works. But what about the day-to-day stuff? When you're tired, stressed out, or just plain bored, your willpower completely vanishes. That is exactly why the 1% use a systematic, logic-based framework to kill impulse buying. Just ask yourself these 3 questions. First, is it an impulse? If yes, deploy the 7-day rule. Wait a week, you'll probably forget you even wanted the thing. Second, are you buying for the brand's marketing or for the actual value? And third, will this genuinely improve your life? Speaking of value, let me put this into perspective with a simple number, 60 cents. If you buy a solid pair of $60 boots and wear them 100 times, your cost per wear is just 60 cents. That is massive value. But if you drop $200 on designer sneakers and wear them twice just to show off, that's $100 per wear. Don't chase flashy brands. Chase real utility and true quality. And finally, the last pillar, 10% to reward your journey. Listen to this. Studies show that 92% of people drastically overspend after intense savings sprints. Why? Because extreme frugality just feels like a punishment. If you only ever grind, save, and invest, you are going to burn out. Take the cautionary tale of an entrepreneur who worked so relentlessly, skipping every vacation and single reward that they actually ended up hospitalized with stress-induced shingles. Skipping breaks is not a badge of honor, guys. It is a dangerous financial mistake. This final 10% is your designated strategy to stay sane. This specific slice of the pie is meant for maximum impact, what we call guilt-free joy. Spend it on vacations to buy memories and de-stress. Spend it on hobbies that keep your passions alive. Use it for nights out to keep your social network strong. And finally, use it to buy really thoughtful gifts for the people you love. These categories generate an incredibly high return on your actual happiness. To actually make sure you spend this money without that nagging feeling of guilt, you need to set up what we call a joy jar. Open a completely separate bank account, set up an automatic transfer of exactly 10% of your income into this account every single month. By preloading the fund, you guarantee that your financial diet remains comfortable, sustainable, and actually enjoyable over the long haul. So this entire explainer really boils down to one powerful final question. Does your money make you look rich, or does it make your life actually feel rich? Having a driveway full of leased cars and a closet stuffed with designer clothes might give the illusion of status. But true freedom, that's knowing your wealth is quietly compounding in the background. Your stability is completely bulletproof, and your life is full of incredible, memorable experiences. It's time to start owning your future.